Aloha. Aloha, everyone, and welcome to Healing Moments with Karinna Nielsen. And a happy Easter holiday weekend to all kinds of holidays being celebrated at this time. But I welcome you here. And this Healing Moments program is brought to you live by me the first Saturday of every month. And our program is to create a special space dedicated to your shares and questions about healing and moving forward on our evolutionary journeys of love. We're creating a space to discuss a spiritual perspective on what's happening to find answers to your questions on life, healing, and consciously creating your world. So we're creating healing moments one moment at a time. So I really welcome you here, and I'm so grateful that you've joined me live or on the recording, which you're going to find on YouTube a little bit later. So first of all, I'd like to start with a prayer of intention so we can set the energy for today. So just sit back a little bit in your space. Now I'll sit back a little bit in mine. And I don't have a virtual background this time, so you can see the beautiful office that I enjoy being in. So just sit back a little bit, and we're going to do a prayer, and then we're going to do the 5 breaths self-healing meditation. So take one deep breath and let it out. And I call upon the creator force, the Christ light, the goddess weave of love, and all the energies of the very highest light of love to gather now for this Healing Moments program. I call forth the higher selves of those gathering with us today and on the video, on the recording, and all those that intended to be here but couldn't be here or wanted to be here, because we know their higher selves are with us now. And we call forth the love of the Master Guide Kirill, the Master Kahu Fred Sterling, and also the Master Chancellor of Lemuria, and all the goddess lights and energies of love, our goddess sisters of the elements, Pele, Isis, Mariah, and Gaia, and the ancient Lemurians to come forth now, the elven guides, so that we can bring forth now a program that will be nurturing and healing for all of those participating. And I pray that we bring forth the understanding that there is always hope, and there is always love, and there is always a way forward as we move through our great shifting consciousness. And I'm humbly grateful. So it is in love. Amen. Or as my friend likes to say, Amama Ua Noa. And we're going to do a 5 breath self-healing meditation. So let's just take a breath at each of the 5 placements. If you want to learn more about the 5 breath self-healing meditation, you can find information about it on signaturecellhealing.com. And right on the homepage, there's a little trailer that will tell you about it. And you can get an ebook to teach you how to do it. You can get a video. There's a video that you can get that shows you how to do it. Or you can take the First Steps to Signature Cell Healing workshop that's coming up on April 23rd. I want to say it right, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And we do the 5 breath self-healing meditation. We do so much more, all these great tools for self-healing that you'll learn in that workshop. So go to signaturecellhealing.com, or even you can go to my website, KarinnaNielsen.com, and you can sign up for this online workshop Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 hours each day. And it's timed really nicely for people in the US and Canada. And it's not any kind of weird hours or anything for American people. But I really hope you'll join me. We always have a wonderful time. I've done it twice before. And the tools that you receive there for your self-healing are just monumental. They're just fantastic. And that's what keeps me going every day, are these tools that I've learned from my mentor, Fred Sterling, and Master Guide Kirill. And this is the beginning of signature cell healing in this workshop. It's the first steps. So it's all about self-healing. So you'll learn a lot of tools that'll get you through times like now when you have to be on your own and maybe you can't gather with other people, or, you know, whatever's happening in your life. It will take you through it. So check that out. So let's try that 5 breath self-healing meditation. And there are 5 hand placements. And ordinarily you do 5 breaths at each of these hand placements. So the first one is at the top of your head. The next one is at your eyes. The next one is at your heart, then at your 3rd chakra, and then at your 2nd chakra. So let's try just a big breath. And when you breathe, the breath comes in through your nose, but you imagine yourself like a dolphin, taking a dolphin breath, and you draw imagine golden particles above your crown chakra, and then just draw them down through your crown chakra, through the pineal gland in the center of your head. And that's where the golden particles turn into white light. And then you continue inhaling and you bring it down to your heart chakra. And then you lock it and you weave all 4 bodies together, and then exhale through your mouth. The breath goes up to your shoulders, down your arms, and out your palms, wherever it's going into your body. So let's try that. So the right hand up, left hand on top. Breathe in and lock it. And exhale. Okay, now go, I have to take off my glasses. Then go to your eyes and take your index finger and your middle finger and place them on your closed eyelids. Breathe in like before and draw it down into your heart. Lock it. And let the light go in through your eyes all the way to the back of your head, down the vagus nerve and down your spine. And then place your right palm on your heart muscle, and then the left palm on top of that with the thumbs pointing up towards your throat. Breathe in, lock it, exhale, and send the light into your palms, into your heart muscle, and let it go throughout your whole chest. And then through the thumbs, it goes up to the thymus. It's just a wonder. And ordinarily you take 5 breaths at each place. Now go to the 3rd chakra, which is right at the stomach. Breathe in again. Lock it. And then exhale and let the light go into your stomach and all throughout this whole area in your abdomen, which is so important for all these really important organs that we have: kidneys, liver, pancreas. And just feel that light just lighting up all the cells. And then go to the 2nd chakra, which is down right above the pubic area. Breathe in. Exhale. And just feel the light going through the urinary tract, the reproductive organs, the digestive tract. This is a really super healing meditation that you can do. I do it 2-3 times a day because I need it. But I recommend twice a day. You're gonna love it, because things can get so tense, right? You can be out there trying to figure out what's going on in the world, and the news is so incredibly sad and tragic so many times, and the things that are unfolding seem so horrible. And we have to remember, of course, that we're in the great shift in consciousness. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So our topic today is called How Do We Heal Through a Global Pandemic? And it's really interesting because, we'll just get into the topic, and I'll tell you as we go along about the numerology for the month and how to use the Lemurian Numerology to help you. It's one of those tools that we learn in the workshop. So that, along with the 10 principles and the channeled articles that we've got for this month. We got plenty of time. So let's start with the topic, because this is something that's on all our minds now. People are getting vaccinated. There's testing still going on. There's all kinds of, we're wearing masks. We're doing all of this, right? So how do we heal through a global pandemic? And this title, the topic came to me through a few questions that I was asked by someone. And he asked me, how do we heal from COVID-19? He said, that's what I want to know. How do we heal from COVID-19? And when he asked me that, I knew that he hadn't had the virus. Okay, he hadn't had COVID-19. So I knew he meant something more than just a physical healing, getting over being ill. He hadn't been ill. So he was talking about the whole experience of a global pandemic. And then he said, what happens after the pandemic? And how do we get back to normal? When will we get back to normal? And I think a lot of us are asking those questions. And, I considered what I was going to tell him for a while. And I kind of listened to what he had to say about things going on in his life. And they weren't, pleasant. We're all going through different things. Some of us have been ill with the virus. Some of us have family members. There are people that have been in the ICU in my family for several weeks, if not months, and are still in the hospital. And what I'm learning is the power of prayer, the power of hope, because they won't let you into the hospital. I mean, he lives in another part of the world, so I'm not able to go to see him, this family member. But even if I were there, even his wife couldn't visit him in the ICU. So what can we do? So I really do believe in the power of positive prayer. And, I don't want to use the word positive because people get tired of the word positive, but it's about enlightening our friends and enlightening the people that we care about and holding them in love and in light and feeling that they're getting better. And, if you pursue signature cell healing through the different workshops, you will learn that we can do distance healing. So we actually teach distance healing. I think we kind of touch on it in first steps as well. How can we do a distance healing? There are a lot of healing modalities that do long distance healing, and signature cell healing is one of them. And Colin Fred Sterling, our founder, has a very effective method of doing long distance healing. And that's something that he's imparted to me, and that I'm really happy that I can teach to other people as well. So that is one of the things that I've kind of been amplifying throughout this pandemic. So when we look at the pandemic in general, though, and by the way, I'll take your questions anytime. If you're here live with me on the call, you can put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand and I'll see you, or you can put it into Facebook Messenger. I've got that running so I can see, I just saw something there in there. Okay, so, how do we heal through the pandemic? When will life get back to normal again? And the thing is, I don't believe from my work in the spiritual realms that our life will be anywhere near what it used to be as far as normal goes. And I don't really believe in a new normal. I believe in a great shift in consciousness. And I believe that we are moving from a third dimensional awareness of yin and yang, where we have a lot of fear. So the pandemic is bringing up for us a lot of fear, not just fear of vaccination, or a fear of the virus, or a fear of getting sick, I'm talking about the things in our lives that are coming up for each one of us. If you've been having to spend a lot of time with your family in your home and you can't go out, or you don't go to your office anymore like you used to, you work from home. I mean, that brings up a lot of things in relationships. So how are you doing with healing your relationships? Because that's another thing with the pandemic. The pandemic is allowing us, giving us the opportunity to look at our relationships and how we behave, or how we go about with people in our families, our friends. And because we're in this great shift in consciousness, and the energy of this frequency of love is rising on our planet to bring in the fourth dimension, which is the next level of awareness of the Creator's love. Because that frequency is rising, our fears are coming up for us. So I don't know about you. What's coming up for you? Is it, how do I pay my bills? I don't know if I have enough money, because a lot of people haven't been able to hold on to their jobs. What about, oh, you know, my wife or my husband, I just can't stand being with them anymore. Why do they keep doing that? It's just making me crazy, you know? Or why can't my kids be quiet when I'm on a Zoom call for my office? You know, all these things, those are fears. And I wonder if people really realize that a fear is not just a fear of spiders or a fear of getting sick. A fear is anything that's not love. So go through your checklist. And I was going through my checklist this morning when I was in meditation. I was thinking, that's a fear. You know, if I have trouble talking to that person, for example, that's a fear, isn't it? You know, because it's not love, so it must be fear. So think about that in a way. You know, if I you know, I think, well, okay, I'm not going to do that because it just doesn't feel right, you know, and you really need to do it. Like, let's say, go to the dentist or something like that. You know, that's a fear. So how can we address that? How can we get past those fears? Because they're really all around us if we choose to look. Now, if you want to be la-di-da, and like some of my, I'm sorry, Aquarian friends, like my mother had a lot of Aquarian energy. They can go up and out. They can just go right above everything, and everything's fine. You know, if you ask them, oh, everything's fine, you know, and you know that it's not, but they're not going to say it. But they have to know it. You can't point it out to them, of course. You know, that's not our job. We each need to look at our own fears. Okay, so you know, you don't want to be la-di-da about it. You want to be looking at things that come up for you and not ignoring them. And I was just rereading the book Kirill the Great Shift by Colin Fred Sterling and Master Guide Kirill. And by the way, if you buy that book right now on signaturecellhealing.com online store, it's only $7 plus shipping. So I was going through it, and because we recently spoke about the 3 days of darkness, and then I realized, wow, he's telling us in that book to take care of the fears that we have right now, because that's what's keeping us from moving into the fourth dimension. And when we come to the 3 days of darkness, when we come to the time when it really is the great shift and the photon energy is going to engulf the planet, and who knows if it's 3 days or, you know, like 3 years or however long it's going to be, but that's the time when the fears get really intense. So if we can get through these little, what we call manini fears, that's small in Hawaiian, these manini fears, like, you know, oh, I don't want to go to the dentist, or, you know, why does my husband keep doing that? It just aggravates me. You know, let's get through these things now. And signature cell healing and that's why I'm offering that first steps of signature cell healing, and then later the level 1, which will be the another workshop in May. this is the time that we need to take care of those fears and heal them. So when we say, you know, when are we going to get back to normal? You're not being present. You know, you need to be here now, looking at what are the things that we need to heal now, instead of going past the pandemic. Be where you are in the moment. I mean, so many spiritualists have spoken about this, but it's so very powerful. It is a powerful thing to be really present and not take anything personally. So recently I had something come up for me in talking to someone, and I thought, geez, we're just not communicating. You know, what is her problem? You know, and I thought, wait a minute, this has got to be about me. And so I just pulled back, and I just realized there's something here. And if you can somehow get your ego out of the way and think, you know, this, you know, that person, whoever it is being mean to me, or, you know, why are they subjecting me to all this pain, or whatever's going on in your life. If you can get past that and get the message from that anger that you feel, or that aggravation, or that irritation, that shows you where the healing is. So instead of like Master Guide Kiro, I was talking to Master Guide Kiro, and I had this sore knee, but I wasn't going to tell him I had a sore knee, because I'm supposed to be, you know, able to take care of these things, right? And so I said, I didn't say anything, but he said, you know, all of these fears, you don't want to ignore them, including things like your knee. You know, I hadn't said anything. So I thought, yeah, you know, don't ignore anything. So don't ignore anything. So I didn't ignore the knee, and I started using signature cell healing on it, and it got better. So, I mean, it was just like a little sore knee, right? But I mean, that goes for everything. Don't ignore stuff now. And it's so hard because it's a fear, right? And you want to run away from it. We want to run away from the fears. And that's kind of, you see the little guy, the little kid running away from a big bad wolf, or some kind of a, you know, big meteor coming at, you know, whatever. I'm talking about everyday ordinary fears. Turn around. If it takes courage, folks, turn around and face the fear. Look at the fear, bring up your love, breathe, and face the fear, and take your ego out of it, and think about, what is this trying to help me see? Something here is trying to help me. And the universe is not against us. The universe and everything in our lives is for us. And I say that because we put it into our own life blueprints before we came here to have these healing experiences. And, you know, you may be listening and thinking, oh man, Karinna, you don't have my life, and you don't have whatever. But everybody has got these places where you get tripped up, or you come into a journey or a phase, or in Lemurian astrology, I like to call it a cycle. You're in a cycle where you've just got to get through a particular healing situation. Everybody's got it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here on Earth right now, right? So it's a time to really amp up your love. And the signature cell healing techniques that we learn in the First Steps workshop help you to deal with these things. So we've got the 10 principles of consciously creating. We've got the Lemurian numerology. We've got all these things that can, and the breathing, right? The first steps to signature cell healing, will really help you get through whatever's going on for you right now. So in short, turn and face the fear, use the techniques of Lemurian healing that you can learn in signature cell healing to help you get through what's going on for you right now. It works, folks. I'm doing it all the time. So anyway, that's kind of an intro to the topic, and I'm going to take a breath here. And if you have a question, you can put it in the Facebook Messenger. But I'm going to take a moment to talk a little bit about this month, because we're in April, And for me, as soon as we go past the equinox in March, I feel we're in Aries, and I love it because I have so much Aries energy that it really, it feels great. So, and plus, in case you hadn't heard it, we are in a period of time until the end of April where it's all planets are in direct motion. So if you, you've heard of Mercury retrograde, and, other planets go retrograde too. And when they do, we kind of have a period of time where we retrace where we've been. It gives us a time to refresh, to reinvigorate ourselves, all those words that people use. And we're more, it's better to go into your right brain and, kind of refresh. Well, right now, all planets are direct. So that means there's a lot of forward motion for everyone in the world right now. And if you can take this time to work on projects or to even start a project, it's a great time to start a project. It's the whole thing about spring too, right? Everybody feels enlivened, and that's really the Aries energy, is that first sign of spring, and the sign and it's the first sign of the zodiac. And it used to be the first sign of the year until they screwed it up and made January the first month of the year. Never mind, that's another story. So let me talk to you about April, because April is a great month, and it's a 4 month. And 4 in the Lemurian numerology is about thought, and also about the 4-body balance and moving into the 4th dimension. So what a dynamic month this is going to be. You've got 4 as the energy of your thought. And if you can balance the 4 bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And this is what the signature cell healing is really all about, is the balance of the 4 bodies. And that's the balance that takes us into the 4th dimension, because it's a new level of love. It's a new level of thought. And you don't want to take any fears with you into the 4th light, because they'll just get amplified, right? And you might not even make it in with some of the fears. So this is the time for us to move through our fears. And we do it by centering in our hearts and being in love with ourself, first of all. So it's about being in love with, with others and with the world, but be in love with yourself first. That's the most important thing. And that's what the signature cell healing, the first steps workshop is all about, because it's about healing the self. So the energy of this month then is the 4. And I want to tell you a little bit about the Lemurian numerology. So everybody comes in with a number, with a Lemurian life path number, right? So if you add up the day, the month, and the year of your birth, you're going to come up with a number. And mine is a 5. So 5 is the number for love. And if you want to look at a brief run through of the numerology, it's on my website, KarinnaNielsen.com, and you can see what the numbers mean. But I'm going to take out, and I got my special Lemurian prophecy cards here. And as instructed by Master Guide Kirill, there's not a lot of us that are Lemurian prophecy card wielders. I can only think of a few, really a few, a handful. And I keep it in this box, and I have a nice little thingy here. And these are the cards, Lemurian prophecy cards. So when I do the Lemurian prophecy card readings and channel the Lemurian Chancellor, because this is all about Lemuria, we bring it out and we shuffle the cards 5 times and tell me why it's 5. I always ask people. And I've already told you that 5 is the number for love. So here's and everybody that's watching, or even if you're watching on the video, put your energy into the card right now. Okay, so we're going to cut it. And we're going to bring up a card for our program today. Oh, goody, goody. Okay, so here's the card for today. The card for today is the Two of Diamonds. And the Two of Diamonds, first of all, the two in the Lemurian numerology is the number for balance. And I actually like to call it the goddess number, because goddess is all about balance and balancing the yin and yang. So the two is about balancing the energy of the yin and yang third dimensional world that we're living in now, right? Or that we're trying to not live in, to move out of, okay? And then there are four suits, and they represent the four bodies, which is perfect for this month because we're talking about the four body balance. So it's the physical, that's the diamonds, the emotional, that's the hearts, the clubs is the mental, and the spades is the spiritual. So you can use the Lemurian numerology to give yourself a reading. So get a deck of cards, and you can pull a card for yourself and start to teach yourself the Lemurian numerology that way. And when we do it in a Lemurian prophecy card reading, I do a full layout of the cards, and we go through the whole four body reading, and the chancellor comes through and helps with that. So I'm going to leave the card right over here for our reading, and that's the numerology. And if you have a question, I'll stop. I'll take a breath. Especially if you have a question about, our topic, how do we heal through a global pandemic? Because we're all into that. And this pandemic is about healing on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. So anything on any one of those bodies can be coming up for us. And we see it coming up for a lot of people on the physical, but it can also come up on the emotional level and the mental and the spiritual. So what kind of challenges are you facing personally now? Take a moment and just think about that. I mean, what is the pandemic giving you an opportunity to look at, to heal, to face, and to let go of? Really, a lot of it is about letting go of what's no longer useful. And also I want to mention that, speaking of letting go, I'm going to be letting go of my old website very soon. So maybe, in the recordings, if sometime when you watch this, by that time, I might have an entirely new website at KarinnaNielsen.com. So go over there and have a look. It's going to be beautiful. I've seen some of the mock-ups of it, and I can't believe it. The website I have now, I built myself, if you can believe that, in 2013. Because I thought I can't afford to have somebody do this. And so I did it all myself, and it took me hours and hours and hours to teach myself that. But I learned a lot, and it served me well over the years. And I'm letting it go now, letting somebody update me. And if you like it, let me know. I'll let you know what her name is. She's just wonderful. She's a wonderful website builder. So, okay, I'll tell you, her name is Annie Sweet, Suite. And you can Google her and find out. She does great work. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about the channeled readings for this month. So let's start with the Chancellor, because that gets us into the four of the Lemurian numerology, is in the 10 principles of consciously creating, is clarity. So this is a month for clarity. And the Chancellor has gifted us with a beautiful writing. I'm just looking for it. Here it is. I have this on my website. You can get it off of the homepage. And then afterwards, you can get it in the blogs that are going to be there. So this month is about clarity. And I had something I wanted to bring up about it, and you can find it there. But I have a little image from Alice in Wonderland. and it's Alice talking to the Cheshire Cat. And don't you love Alice in Wonderland? I always loved it. And so I found this thing, and Alice is asking the cat, what road do I take? And the cat says, well, where are you going? And Alice says, I don't know. And the cat says, then it doesn't matter. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. So think about that in terms of clarity, because if you're clear on where you're going, then you would take a specific path, and the universe, speaking spiritually now, the universe could align to your intention and help you with the clarity. So the spiritual world, or the guides and the angels and all the energies of love that surround us, are not going to do the journey for us, but they can light our path if they're clear on what you want. So the Chancellor's message this month was, how would you, it said something about, oh, okay, so we've been through the 3 keys, truth, trust, and passion. And that's also in that writing above. So every month, the Chancellor is giving us a writing on or a message on the 10 principles. And so he says, for how would you endeavor to move forward through life without clarity on your destination? Well, a lot of us do. And that's why we end up places where we think, how did I get here? Or what's this here? This is not what I wanted. But then maybe you have to say at that point, you can't, if you blame somebody else, you're going to miss it, right? So if you look at it and think, okay, now where was I not clear? That happened to me recently when I was working with someone, and I got this instead of that. And I thought, come on, what, I did the best I could. Started whining. And then I thought, okay, it's possible I wasn't clear. So then you've got to go back and not be confounded by the chaos, as the Chancellor says. And this is the great ending of it. When you have the courage to clearly define your intentions in life, you will engage the power of your conscious creation and define your healing journey to arrive more speedily at your destination in abundant love for self and guided in love. So what a great reminder about clarity for this month, right? Okay, so I have a message from, I think this is Sandra in the chat, yes. And I'm so glad you're here with us, Sandra. Thank you so much. And she's saying, with your reminder of our fears, I finally realized that fears of being very tired are intertwined with the procrastinating in my healing process. So procrastination is a fear, right? I have that as well. I have to fight that procrastination. That is has always been a really big thing for me. And I'll tell you one way that I deal with that, just a real third dimensional way, is I make lists. I make lists of things that I need to do, and I cross them off. I feel really good about when I cross them off, but I'm staring at what I need to do. So that has helped me with procrastination. So anyway, going on from Sandra. So I finally answered how to overcome severe tiredness to do self-healing. To overcome tiredness is not to succumb to it. With my fears of consequences of not resting more, it's to understand it as being one of my fears to overcome. It seems like it's a primary fear, so I have to overcome it in order to practice self-healing. Practicing self-love by wanting to heal myself or wanting to be healed is really the only way to start the process towards lasting healing, right? Wow, Sandra, I give you a big wow. Capital W, capital O, capital W. That is so awesome. And just remember, when we're feeling something like tired or we're feeling sick, you want to take care of it, first of all. Of course, it might be like with your tiredness showing you a fear. Yes, I agree. But why are you tired? what is making you tired? And to, if it's an illness or something you need to see a doctor about, that's really important. So I want to put that right up front. But also your insights into this are fantastic. So we use a lot of subterfuge to keep us from addressing those fears. So I know I have this fear over here, right? But I'm not going to look at it. And I'm going to create all kinds of stuff there. Busyness. A lot of people create busyness. I'm too busy to deal with this. I'm too busy to call my mother, or I'm too busy to call that person because you just don't want to talk to them. What are the things that we put in between us and our fears? And when we use the self-healing, techniques from signature cell healing, that helps us. So imagine doing that 5-breath self-healing meditation. You are enlightening the cells of your body. So when you breathe, that light is coming in and it's going into all of the 70 trillion cells of your body. And the cells of your body are primarily water. So the water in the cells is starting to vibrate, the liquid water, the liquid in the cells. And it starts to activate the blueprint that you brought with you into this lifetime. So that activates the DNA, and you're starting to raise your consciousness. So that means when the love comes up out of the cells in that 5-breath self-healing meditation, you're going to feel more and more love and more courage to face your fears. And you're going to look at them and go, wow, that wasn't really so bad, was it? And it'll be kind of remarkable. For me, it's remarkable sometimes when I just face things and they just go away. Something happened to me the other day where I just thought, okay, I'm just going to deal with this. And then all of a sudden the next day, everything lined up. So yeah, great courage, Sandra. I'm very proud of you for that share. Um, um, so she says, I've told myself to do a short list to bring in my scattered energies lately. Well, that's really interesting you say that, Sandra, because when I was working with Kahu Fred Sterling, I was his publisher and events planning and events manager. And I used to have all these things going on. And Master Guide Kirill told me a long time ago to make lists, right? And so I'm going to show you a list, but they're not short, they're long. So you say short list. And for example, here's one right now. I'm not going to show you what's on it, but there's a list. It's big, right? There's a list, and I do it every few days. So I, just check it off and make a new list. And it might sound like busy work to some people, but it really keeps me on track. And Master Carol also said that if I'm working on something, I have a tendency to multitask, right? And I'll get lost. I can get lost in the task. So he told me, put it up in a pigeonhole. Like if you're sitting in one of those roll top desks and they have those pockets. So he told me, you're working on your computer or you're doing this or that. So if you start to go off on another task, take the old task and put it up in one of those compartments. And then you do that task. And when you're done with this new one, you pull the other one down and put it there. So it might sound silly, but it worked for me. And maybe it will help someone out there. Anyway, so thank you for that share, Sandra, very much. And if there's any other shares or you have questions, I'll get back to Messenger over here too. I wanted to also let you know that every month we do the global healing meditation for Mother Earth. And I say by we, I'm talking about light workers all around the planet. Because I personally have been doing this for about 20 years. This global healing meditation for Mother Earth. Previously, it was started with the Silver Wings of Light, Goddess Weave, of which I was a part. And when the Silver Wings kind of went their own separate ways, I took on the took the opportunity to continue the global healing meditation for Mother Earth. So every month, about 3 nights before the full moon, I put an announcement on Facebook or on my website, and everyone does this from wherever they are on the planet, and you do it at 9 p.m. your local time. And there's all kinds of information on my website about it. There's a beautiful chant from Mahina Ku, chant of protection. We've got a healing code for the meditation. There's all kinds of things there. So please join us this month on the 22nd of April at 9 p.m. your local time. And what's really cool is we do the 5 breath self-healing meditation, each in our own space around the world. And then we send our light to Diamond Head. And that's where we create a weave of light that goes around the planet. So I hope you can join us for that. It's really wonderful. Then before we go, I also want to mention the awesome channeling from the Chancellor of Lemuria. And it's called Ascending in Love Through a Global Pandemic. So that's also where I got an idea that this might be a good topic for today. But what he's talking about is that just as it's long, and there's a few questions in there that I really enjoyed as well. One of the Chancellor's big points is self-love moves us through the pandemic. It's self-love that does it. And that self-love can be expressed out to others as well. But when you have love for yourself, it's going to move you more smoothly through this pandemic or whatever else is coming in the great shift in consciousness, because it's not the end. We're still on a flow of moving through this great shift. So the Chancellor is also talking about healing what's right in front of you, and that all healing is self-healing. So if you're, and we want to help and heal others as well, that's true. But when we do heal other people, we're also healing ourselves. And that's just a beautiful thing. So it takes courage to heal ourselves was another point. And I'm just trying to get something here in the last few moments that we have about, here is one really good thing. Okay, so you got to read the channeling. It's on my website under the top. On the old website, the main menu bar has channelings, and it'll be right at the top. He talks about a truth alliance, and I think that is awesome, because here's a quote from the article. On the earth plane, in these shifting times, all higher selves are operating on what is called a truth alliance, meaning each human aspect will have opportunities in interacting with others to reveal the truth to self in various ways. So, and this is in response to a question about someone that experienced a friend not telling her the truth. So interesting, huh? A truth alliance. So that means what I get an image from that. How about you? An image that all of the higher selves of everyone on the planet, or let's just take our own family or our own friends, we're in a truth alliance. So that means that we're going to have opportunities for fears to come up. It's about truth, sure. And truth is about love, and it's about healing. So they're going to reveal the truth to you through their actions. So what a powerful way of healing the self is seeing the reflection in another person around us, and that you have to set your ego aside and know that it's about you when you come into something like that. So I really credit the Chancellor for giving a very beautiful answer to this question, and I hope you'll enjoy the channeling as well. I really enjoy doing channelings with the Chancellor. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy. We are almost to the end of our time. And if you have any final questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or any shares about how the pandemic is going for you. I mean, it depends on where we are. We can laugh about it, right? But you know, it can be dicey in many parts of the world. I just pray that everyone stay safe. Get your vaccination. I have my appointment because it came to my age group now here locally. So please keep yourself safe and follow your heart in whatever you do. We've talked a lot about, you know, how we can recognize the fears that come up for us. And Sandra, your share is awesome about, you know, recognizing that, yes, you know, tiredness is a fear that keeps you from doing something that you know you need to be doing, or you feel you should be doing. Everybody's facing these personal challenges right now. And if you're not, and you think, oh, everything's okay with me, then you're not looking at what's going on for you. Because if we're all healed, we're off the planet. Okay, so if you're still breathing, you're healing. I'll take my word for it. So please, let's see. Here's a question before we go. Aldi Mahinaku. Beside the planets going direct, are there other celestial events to look forward to in April? Yes, let me just take a quick look, because there is, of course, the Aries New Moon, which is, oh, that's powerful. So that'll be, we're past that. No. April, coming up the rest of April, right? So that's another part that really amped up the energy. When we get to the end of the month, the planet that is going retrograde is Pluto. So Pluto's going to screw it up. I'm not just kidding. So Pluto is the first planet that's going to go retrograde, and that's on the 27th. And Pluto is the transformer, right? Pluto is the composter, and the one that takes you down into the underworld and helps us face our fears. So watch that date. Thank you for asking, Mahinaku. Watch the 27th, because Mercury, when a planet goes retrograde, it's retracing its steps. Now it's going to be retrograde until October, because it moves so slowly, right? So from the end of April through October, we're going to have a period of Pluto retrograde. And that allows us, it's not going to be that much in degrees, because the planet moves so slowly, but it is going over those degrees where we had some of the unrest that we saw in the world. You know, the whole virus, and Pluto has to do with transformation of our lives, of anything, of death and rebirth, really. So it's really, because it's in Capricorn, it has to do with governments, businesses, any kind of structures, or the way that we live in the third dimensional world. That's what Capricorn has to do with. So Pluto is going to retrograde through there again. So what we see is more opportunities to reimagine how could our structures be in this world. What are the systems that we have in place that are still not working, and we need to rejuvenate it. Now, on the other side of that, there is Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, right? Saturn and Jupiter move through Capricorn, and we had that amazing conjunction with those three planets in Capricorn, which is about, like I said, re-envisioning the structure of our lives all around the world. Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn is the planet that likes form and structure. And with Jupiter, it's amplifying in Aquarius a new way of envisioning governments, countries, how we interact with each other, all kinds of systems and ways that we live in the third dimension. So the the Aquarian energy is calling to Pluto, but it won't get there until next year. So it has a way to go of still, we have more time to reimagine and to let go. Pluto is really a lot about letting go. So when we come to the end of the month, we'll be talking again on May 1st in the Healing Moments program, the first Saturday in May. So we can talk a little bit about these energies of letting go. So Pluto is all about letting go. So if you got a room, I got a room over there I want to clean out. Everybody's got a junk drawer or a junk room. You know, let stuff go on the physical level, but let it also go on the emotional, mental, and spiritual level. It's really a time of regeneration. I see on my calendar there's another interesting thing that will happen in regards to the United States natal chart. And my mentors in astrology, the Shamanic Astrology Mystery School, Daniel Giamario and Kaylin Costell, they talk a lot about the US chart and how it's being influenced now because the US chart has its own Pluto return. But on the 16th of April, it also, the Jupiter, the transiting Jupiter is going to impact the US moon on the moon chart. So that has to do a lot about lineage and where we're coming from and where we want to go as a nation. So look at the 16th because you know, that could be also, these are the things that I'm kind of keeping an eye on this coming month. So thank you so much for asking, Mahina Ku. It's a dynamic month, no matter what the planets are, because it's all about us. It's all about you. It's all about me, and we can bring in the energy of change in this wonderful month, first month of spring, and the Aries energy that we'll have until the 19th, and then we'll head into Taurus, and it'll be more grounded and more anchored. So I'm glad you like that. She's saying, perfect to have the insights as the dates move by. Yes, it's wonderful. And we know that it's so important for us to keep focused on where we are. And my friend that asked me what's going to happen after the pandemic, I brought him back to now. And I said, you know, let's talk about what's happening now. And if we envision beyond the pandemic, that might be hard to do because life really, I don't anticipate that life will be the same as what we had before because we're moving into a new dimension. And that's a good thing. So anyway, I would like to thank you very much for joining me. I think I've mentioned everything on my list here that I wanted to talk about. Please visit my new website coming up, KarinnaNielsen.com, and also go over to signaturecellhealing.com and register for the First Steps to Signature Cell Healing, Healing the Self online workshop, April 23rd, 24th, and 25th. We'll be on Zoom. And here's the good thing. I'm so glad I remembered this. When you sign up with a friend, you get a discount. That's the first thing. If you've taken it before, you're going to get it for $49. And also, even if you don't sign up with a friend or you're not a graduate, sign up for the workshop and you get the digital self-healing, signature cell healing, self-healing bundle of videos, MP3s, and ebooks free. You get it free because it's our workshop materials. So it's like worth $36. So you get that free when you register. So I hope you can join me. We always have a great time with light workers from around the planet. Please join me, and I'll see you again, if not before, next Healing Moments program on May 1st. Aloha and take care, stay safe, and work on your self-healing, just like I will be. Aloha.